mean, so this is this is not the whole project, but this is like maybe 75% of the images from See Naples and Die, which I hate the title. I think it's very cliche, but I made this title when I was 24, 25. I think maybe if I went to photography school, I would have more of a critical thinking about my work. But yeah, this is just my experience of living in Naples and being an English teacher for 2 years. And this was from 2015 to 2017 when I was teaching English and taking the majority of the photographs. And then from 2017 to 2022, I returned maybe 3 or 4 times every year for like maybe a total of 2 months. For work reasons as well, but mostly just to add to the project. And I think the last photo I took was in 2022. So now I don't go back to Napoli. I love Napoli. It has a special place in my heart. I love Neapolitan people, but at the moment I only return for work. Maybe in 5, 10 years, after a break, I can come back and look at the city and see it very differently. But I'm not criticizing Napoli at all. I love the city. It's just the atmosphere has changed a little bit. I mean, Neapolitans as human beings, they are the same. You know, they're still welcoming, they're still open, they're still enthusiastic. They have a beautiful, like, dark sense of humor, which I love as an English person because we have very similar humors. But my only concern for Napoli is that it's going in the direction of somewhere like Venice, you know? And look, I'm happy for Neapolitans because, you know, they've changed their lives because of tourism. You know, to be honest with you, I used to buy weed from a famous place called La Sposa in Napoli. And then recently they closed this whole street. But one guy I used to buy from, I met him in the street and he said, "Hey, come to my pizzeria, come to my spritz bar." So, you know, I'm from London. I can't speak for Neapolitans. But my only concern is that with tourism and more tourists, because when I was photographing in 2015, whatever, all these years, people, they would see me in like Sanità or Quartieri Spagnoli, where there were not so many tourists, and they would look at me like, "Why are you here?" But it was a good way to start the conversation and to take photographs. So my only concern for Napoli is that there's going to be so many tourists that the character of the Neapolitans will start to change. Like in Venice, the locals in Venice, for example, they hate tourists. So if you see tourists every day of your life walking past your house, being rude, being drunk, after a while, I'm worried that the mentality of the Neapolitans will change from being very open to a bit more closed, you know? Look, I mean, to be honest, there's one photograph that is really exploded. I think you know the one, the tutto pasta guy. But, well, maybe I should take it. But at the same time, it's one of my least favorite photographs because it's everywhere now and it's becoming really boring. But maybe my favorite, I don't really have a favorite. I think maybe Gennaro because he was a very close friend of mine and his stories are incredible. You know, I think at one point he had like 12 boats and he was going from Morocco to Napoli every week, buying cigarettes from Morocco. And I think the photographs that mean the most to me are the ones where I have a really strong relationship with the people. So you can look at Gennaro, you can look at Mary, you can look at Giovanni there. Yeah, it's the ones where I have a real connection with the people, and they are still my friends today. To be honest, if you want me to be really honest, I don't care. Because I think I always live by the phrase memento mori. You know, I think I think we all have to realize that we're only here for a very small amount of time. The universe is billions of years old. So if you think your work is important, it's not. So I think for me the most important thing when I approach my work is just to have fun and be respectful to people. So I don't think about my work, living for 100 years, because the likelihood it won't. So I think anybody that thinks of having a legacy, or having their work live for 100, 200 years, I think that's, for me, it's just another way of saying that you have a big ego. And that's not how I live. So for me, I always had this, because in Tibet, where they make those beautiful drawings with sand, they take them like days to make, and at the end they just destroy it. So that's how I kind of approach photography, like everything is temporary, and yeah, I don't think about the future or legacy. I think the most important thing is to be present, show respect to the people you photograph, and more importantly, to have fun, because I don't understand young photographers these days. What's the motivation behind making their work? You have followers, you have likes. When I grew up taking photographs, there wasn't Instagram. There wasn't all this pressure to create. I took photographs because I like taking photographs. And that's something that you really have to keep telling yourself. Why am I doing this? It's because I have fun.
Yeah, definitely.
People forget this though. Now it's become like a machine. But I'm not sure photographers these days are having fun, The photographs are cool, but they're just like a small part of the experience, Like I've met some incredible people. I've drank so much with crazy people, and I have memories that will last forever. Yeah. The photographs are just a byproduct of the experience itself, because each photograph I can look at this and I can remember everything. How I felt, how they were treating me, how I was speaking with them. So the memories are, for me, the most important thing. It's nice to have your work appreciated, but it's not everything. Hi, I'm Gregg, and I am at PhEST 2025.